Tenaga Nasional Bhd intends to invest upwards of 90 billion ringgit over the next 6 years in its grid infrastructure, of which 40% will be channeled towards energy transition-related capital expenditure. TNB President and Chief Executive Officer Datuk Indera Baharin said the key priority of the national utility company is to strengthen the ASEAN interconnection to facilitate its net zero emissions goal.
Regionally, one of the key priorities in meeting our net zero target is strengthening our ASEAN interconnection. I've just came back from Indonesia to meet our counterpart from PLN, IGAT, PDL, and Singapore Power. I can see their enthusiasm is tangible as parties are committed to making it happen, as the interconnection would enable better RE allocation, support system security, and open up a gateway to over $6.3 trillion of new investment by 2050.
He said this in his closing remarks at the Energy Transition Conference 2023 at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre on Tuesday. TNB, which operates 62.25 billion ringgit worth of regulated transmission and distribution assets in the country as at end 2022, has been closely monitored amid rising interest towards renewable energy capacity installation and the national plan to allow RE exports to neighbouring countries. He said development of a flexible cross-border grid is one of TNB's 3 objectives in its 2050 energy transmission pathway, aside from decarbonisation of its power generation segment and the empowerment of its prosumers and cross-sector electrification.
There remains many challenges in figuring out the technology, the policies and funding required to accelerate this transition. And therefore, a year ago, we decided that it was very important to bring together players and policymakers to discuss how we can deliver an accelerated but responsible energy transition.
Meanwhile, TNB Chief Operating Officer Datuk Megat Jalaluddin Megat Hassan said there were 2,500 participants comprising industry players, delegates and government officers that attended the Energy Transition Press Conference.
So in terms of the objective, we are extremely happy with the response, and we believe the speakers and the participation from the partners has create a good momentum and platform for everybody to actually discuss and chart the way forward for energy transition.
He added that Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim's announcement on an allocation of 2 billion ringgit for the National Energy Transition Facility at the launch of the National Energy Transition Roadmap helped TNB move forward to achieve the aspirations under the NETR.
The NETR announcement provides us the guide for us to move forward, as Tenaga Nasional and the other industry players now have a clear guidelines of the actions for us to achieve the net zero emission, which is on everyone's tables.
Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli, as well as Natural Resources, Energy and Climate Change Minister Nik Nazmi Nik Ahmad also joined a session at the conference. When asked whether nuclear energy has a role in Malaysia's energy transition plans during the session, Rafizi said nuclear energy will be a part of the nation's plan in time. The event is the region's largest meeting place on energy transition and looks ahead to the future amid an industry-wide transformation to drive progress to net zero. The 2-day conference, which began on Monday, brought together local and international thought leaders, experts, industry players, policymakers, and communities from across the value chain to formulate solutions and strategies, stimulate meaningful changes to accelerate energy transition effectively, and form collaborations.